Good evening, my good tenor. Don't ask. Let's just say that was because of last night's stream, which I do want to quickly say a huge thank you for the amazing support I received on last night's stream. Thank you so much. Hildryn Prime, the mother of shields, and the bottle cap opener. Someone said that on my stream last night, and I literally can't get it out of my head. Anyways, in this video, we're going to go over her abilities briefly and then some builds as well. Let's get straight into it. Hildryn's abilities. Her passive is quite literally just shield gating. When shields are depleted, you gain invulnerability briefly, for 3 seconds actually. Her first ability is Balefire, which uses her exalted weapon, the Balefire Charger. Her second ability is the goated ability, which is Pillage. Drains enemy shields and armor strips and removes status effects for you and your allies. Her third is Havent, which creates a shield around your allies which damages nearby enemies. It also replenishes your allies' shields faster and gives them more shields. Her fourth ability is Aegis Storm, which is mid, to be honest, and this is my subsume slot. You fly up, you shoot the Balefire rockets at enemies that drop energy orbs every few seconds, and when your shields are depleted, you will drop down and knock back all the enemies. It's not that great, because you can't use Pillage while using this ability, and you have to have Balefire activated before. And that's the abilities, quick and simple, to the point. The next thing I want to talk about is her Augment, which is Blazing Pillage. It is a must-have in my opinion. What this Augment does is when enemies are affected by Havent, which is her third ability, it applies a heat proc on them, which is affected by ability strength, and restores 50 shields. This is used to further regen Hildryn's shields, especially when dealing with infested enemies because they lack armor and shields, which means Hildryn will struggle to survive without Blazing Pillage against those types of enemies. And that's why it's best to not have 100% armor stripping on your Pillage, because sometimes you need to cast it twice to survive and regain your shields. Plus you will have heat procs from Blazing Pillage, which reduces the enemy's armor already, plus Pillage itself, so you will pretty much have almost 100% armor strip anyway. Like the video, my good tenor, for the RNG gods will bless you all Hildryn Prime parts in your farming journey. Also, comment down below your thoughts on Hildryn and the Prime access. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Alright, let's get into the builds. Firstly, the first 4 builds here, the mods are the exact same. I did get this build from a community member on stream last night, and all I did was just change the subsumes here and there. But however, I tested it, and to be honest, it's a very balanced, decent build, and it performs very well on Steelpath. There's literally nothing to change about it. It's important to note that duration affects Pillage better than range. All range does is just affect how far the ring will start for Pillage, which is useful in some cases, but you also don't want to have too much duration because you want to call Pillage back quickly to regain your shields with Hildryn. Efficiency doesn't matter with Hildryn because remember, Hildryn does not use any energy. She uses her shields to cast her abilities. So her shields are her survivability and also her energy. Adaptation for survivability, as you have status removal from Pillage, so the only thing you're gaining from rolling guard is the 3-second invulnerability, but you shield gate with Hildryn anyway. Redirection, of course, for more shields so you can survive longer and cast more abilities. Blind Rage, Transient Fortitude, Blazing Pillage is a must-have. Primed Continuity, Umbral Intensify, and Overextended for more Gloom range and range for Havent. The Aura is growing power for more strength, or this can be flexible with whatever you want to choose. With this build, you won't have the full effect of Gloom, which is still okay. 81% is a decent amount as a base. But if you want the full effect, then you can go and use Molt Ormated in your arcanes, and that sorts out that problem. Arcane Barrier for that shield instant recharge, and Arcane Aegis for shield regen chance as well. However, you can use whatever you like with the arcanes, it's super flexible. Great. This is your Gloom Hildryn, it's pretty self-explanatory. Cast your 3 and then get growing power, cast Gloom, cast Pillage to armor strip, and then cast your 1 and shoot everything. Or just shoot your weapons, it doesn't matter. For the Balefire Charger Prime build, we run Hornet Strike, Galvanized Diffusion, Primed Fulmination for more AoE, Galvanized Shot because you want to use a primer like the Epitar, Lethal Torrent. This weapon does need more fire rate, but I sacrificed fire rate for more flat damage here in this build, Pistol Pestilence, Jolt, and Primed Heated Charge for a corrosive heat setup. Her exalted weapon is kinda trash, to be very honest with you, without armor stripping, and if you prime it does a lot better, so I would highly suggest using Galvanized Shot with an Epitar primer, and just priming enemies, armor strip, and then just use your Balefire Charger and they will die quite easily. This is, however, for Steelpath enemies, and when you go into late game. For Star Chart and base Steelpath, it's pretty much okay. It works. There is one downfall with the Balefire, is that sometimes if you shoot an enemy and it doesn't die, it will just yeet them far away, which is kind of annoying. But this leads me on to my next build. If you use something like Ensnare or Nidus's Lava, you can group them up quite nicely, armor strip, and just shred them with the Balefire. This is the build here that we run. Like I said, same mods, just different subsumes. The next build I want to talk about is the support Hildryn, which, if I might say, is a very nice support build, and if you play this, your allies will love you. That's all I'm saying. You make use of the subsume Voracious Metastasis, which, as it states, consumes energy to heal yourself and grant matching energy to each ally. But remember, Hildryn uses shields. So with this build, you drain 775 shields from yourself and give 775 energy to your allies. That's a lot of energy at once per cast. And you may be worried about the 775 drain, but remember, you're spamming pillage with Haven and you have over shields, so you should be chilling at about 4,000 shields plus, so you won't have to worry about basically just draining your life away. With this build, you supply shields, status removal, armor stripping, and energy to your allies. That's actually a very good support. The next build is Raw, which is to buff your Balefire. This does work quite well, and if you want to go on the offensive with Hildryn Prime, then this is the build for you. For this build, you can pretty much run Eclipse, Raw, or Zarta's Whisper. Self-explanatory, there's not much more to say about it, and that's the 4 Steelpath builds. Pretty simple. Just quickly, for those who want a base build, no Steelpath, no helmet, nothing, this is something that you can maybe work towards, as I know you won't have all of these mods, but just try your best to substitute what you have available and work towards getting these mods, and you will be good to go in the star chart. Just to briefly touch on the Archon shards, Hildryn really needs casting speed in my opinion. Casting speed is a really good option for Archon shards, or if you really want to, you can go full extra shields with blue shards, which will be quite funny. Now let's talk about Hildryn Prime, and what is she actually good for? Literally everything. She's the mother of shields and tanking. She's really difficult to kill, does a lot of damage, and easily armor strips, and let's be honest, when you armor strip everything, it's a joke. It's so easy to do big damage. The only thing she will struggle against is Toxin, but you have Pillage to status remove, so that's fine. You will also struggle against little to no enemies, as you need groups of enemies to armor strip and shield strip, so you can regain your shields and survive better. I've not tested her level cap, so I can't comment on that, but she's pretty good for everything. I really don't have much more to say about her. She's a super fun tank to play. Her 4 is just not it, personally. Just because you locks you in an animation, but Pillage plus Haven is amazing. And I'm not a support player, but that Voracious Metastasis build is actually insane. If you have a Trinity plus this build, it's insane supporting. And yeah, guys, that's Hildryn Prime. I hope you guys enjoy her. She's definitely worth the farm. Comment down below your thoughts on her, and I'll see you all in the next one.